Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to dive headfirst into a TV spectacle so magnificently bad. It's actually good? Yes, you read that right. In a season saturated with serious dramas, prepare for the pure, unadulterated joy of Robin Hood, a show that's less about historical accuracy and more about gloriously cheesy entertainment. Autumn's chill is setting in. The days are getting shorter, and the need for some good old-fashioned fantasy escapism is at an all-time high. This is where Robin Hood steps in, promising a romp through ye old England filled with fresh-faced actors cutting their teeth and seasoned veterans cashing their alimony checks. Or, funding their next passion projects. Now, I only need to tell you two crucial things to convince you. First, the legendary Sean Bean, the man who dies in everything. https://theguardian.com/culture/Sean-Bean graces our screens as the Sheriff of Nottingham. Yes, you heard correctly. The internet collectively willed it into existence, and here we are. But here's where it gets controversial. Can he play a villain as iconic as the Sheriff? We'll get to that. And second, prepare yourself. There are no bad wigs. In fact, there are no wigs at all. Some divine intervention must have occurred, steering the wardrobe department away from the dreaded long, stringy, your hair catastrophe that plagues so many period pieces. Instead, our heroes and heroines are allowed to be merry without looking like they just escaped a Renaissance fair gone wrong. This alone, in my book, is worth the price of admission. But wait, there's more. The show's brilliance begins with its opening caption. Who doesn't love a good opening caption? It's a promise that the creators aren't taking anything for granted, that they're going to clearly establish the setting and situation without forcing us to decipher cryptic dialogue or rely solely on visual cues. Robin Hood delivers the gold standard of opening captions. Many years have passed since the Norman conquest. England is ruled by Henry II. Norman laws and Christianity have been forced upon the Saxon people who must pay taxes and give deference to their new masters. Before you even have time to ponder the slightly awkward phrasing, do people really give deference, or is it usually shown? And wonder if this is a harbinger of delightfully ramshackle things to come. BAM, there's more. Over time, more and more Saxon lands and estates are taken over by Norman laws as England is subjugated to its new rulers. You might fleetingly question the redundancy around the subjugated bit, but fear not. Another paragraph about forest lawn outlaws is on its way, plunging us headfirst into the action, so there's no time for nitpicking. The show gleefully ticks all the boxes of the genre. We got chainmail-clad Norman soldiers falling victim to well-aimed Saxon arrows. We've got fairies with noticeable attributes. We've got Hugh of Locksley, played by Tom Mison, teaching young Robin the art of archery. You have talent, my boy. We've got rousing speeches about Saxon tenacity. We've got the Locksley lands being unjustly seized by the soon-to-be Earl of Huntingdon, Stephen Waddington. We've got Mrs. Locksley, Anastasia Griffith, dreaming of Robin making a name for himself at court. Young Robin, Jack Patton, meets young Marion, Lauren McQueen, Huntingdon's daughter, and they experience that classic, innocent, preteen connection. Then, naturally, they both grow up to be incredibly attractive. Patton and McQueen reprise their roles as adults and start feeling decidedly different kinds of connections. And this is the part most people miss. The show cleverly sidesteps the fact that Robin is, let's face it, a rather unheroic name by simply calling him Rob. Problem solved. Hugh, now a royal forester, a prestigious position, but a humiliating one for a Saxon, finds himself in hot water thanks to Huntingdon and a treacherous Saxon colleague for failing to mutilate every poacher he apprehends. The ruthlessly ruthless Sheriff of Nottingham ruthlessly behaves ruthlessly, leading to some emotionally charged acting that, I'm confident, will improve with time and perhaps become even more entertainingly bad. We also have Sheriff Sean's daughter, Priscilla Lydia Peckham, who is essentially a medieval nymphomaniac, a somewhat laborious undertaking, considering all the layers of clothing they wore back then. But when she's not busy seducing guards, she's eavesdropping on her father and Huntingdon scheming, which I dare say will prove useful later. And let's not forget the spirit of the Greenwood, along with those aforementioned fairies, summoned by Robin's mother on her deathbed to protect him. I'm betting that will also come in handy down the line. The drama doesn't quite move at the breakneck speed you might expect from the genre, though on the plus side, this gives us more time to admire the CGI castle, manor house, surrounding outbuildings, and village dwellings that abound. And I must say, this is wig money well spent. So, by the end of the first 2 episodes, Rob is only just starting to consider a life of outright outlawry. We still have Connie Nielsen as Eleanor of Aquitaine to look forward to, as well as the introductions of Little John, Guy of Gisborne, Friar Tuck, and King John. What larks indeed. Look, by any objective standard, Robin Hood is objectively terrible. But subjectively, I'm having an absolute blast, and I suspect anyone who approaches it with the right mindset will feel the same. If it's not your cup of tea, that's perfectly fine. You can eagerly await whatever amazing project Sean Bean undertakes next, funded, in part, by this glorious train wreck. But here's a question for you. Is it possible that the show's very flaws are what make it so enjoyable? In the meantime, no wigs. Let us all rejoice. So what do you think? Am I completely off my rocker for finding this show so entertaining? Or are you ready to embrace the glorious badness with me? Let me know in the comments.